2 Season 6 is the greatest season of all time. Why are you looking at me like that? People were in disbelief at all my hot takes I was making yesterday, with the most notable one being Chapter 2 Season 6 is my favorite season. I said I could make a whole video on it, so here we are. Also, no, this is not rage bait. You can think it is, but that immediately makes you the most boring person in the room. So, if you hate my opinion, drop a follow. Let's cover the most important thing first. The loophole was good and bad at the same time. Let me explain. You have all these funky makeshift guns that, while they were terrible, made the interactions you had with players more strategic rather than brainless W-king. Of course, that was ruined by the primal shotgun, but that was quickly nerfed. Thank God. On top of that, there were just some underrated weapons like the primal AR, makeshift shotgun, and recycler. If you liked being basic and boring, you were literally given the option to use what you want, but we'll get back to that in a bit. We also got bows added this season, which were some of the most fun long-range weapons in the game. Pair that with the exotics, and you got yourself a very underrated loot pool. Now, okay, I get it. You hate guns that give you a challenge. I understand that, but we had one of the greatest features in the game introduced this season, being crafting. Everyone hated makeshifts, but you were literally given the option to turn those weapons into primal weapons or mechanical weapons, which were literally just your classic pump and AR. Crafting wasn't just an awesome feature, it allowed you to customize your loadout entirely. While RNG is still a big part of looting, this narrowed down the numbers as low as they can go. You were literally given a free pump every game, but apparently hitting a car for 20 seconds was too much for most people. You guys remember Wild Weeks? For the last 4 weeks of the season, we were given unvaulted weapons and increased loot for specific items. This wasn't a big one, but it kept the game fresh and made the people excited to see their favorite weapons return. We were also given an original LTM, Impossible Escape. I'm not one to care about LTMs, but this was fun. Yes, it was a one-time thing, but it was unique. It gave you a free umbrella if you want, and it built major trust issues, but that's besides the point. I think the only valid complaint I see is the map. While I personally loved the primal POIs, at times they were annoying because there were a lot of build restrictions in the POIs since they were built so funkily. I loved bony burbs, but I get why someone wouldn't. Other than that, there are some small details I really loved about the season, like the fish book still being a thing, animal taming, junker tires, exotic weapons constantly rotating in the loot pool, Isla Nublada was added with the Aurelia boss, and finally we had some really good cosmetics this season with a fairly good battle pass. I didn't like the season at first, but I'm so thankful I gave it a second shot. We could have seen it again this season, but FORTNITE hates me. Which season is your favorite? Also follow for more bullshit.